So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste and a very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 195th episode. In the last 194 episodes, we have talked to, interacted with more than 3,000 school leaders on this very platform where they've shared their ideas, opinions, innovations, and what all new are they doing in the education space. तो नमस्कार, आप सभी का स्वागत है ब्लब वर्ल्ड वेब टॉक्स के 195वें एपिसोड में। पिछले 194 एपिसोड्स में हमने करीबन 3,000 से ज्यादा स्कूल लीडर से बातचीत की, उनके आइडिया समझने की कोशिश की, वो शिक्षा को कैसे बदल रहे हैं ये समझा और शिक्षा उन्हें कैसे बदल रही है ये जानने का प्रयास किया। So today as well, when we come together for this session, we would typically be talking more on your ideas, perceptions, and what do you think is missing in the education space. The topic for today is something really interesting because it talks about two countries who are super set apart geographically, but culturally they overlap a little. The people, the understanding, the perceptive analysis, and the kind of demographics are quite similar when we talk of India and Spain. So there are a lot of opportunities that could be built. Now, is there a need for that? Should it be essential? Should it be crucial? Should it be critical? Or it's absolutely of no use is what we'll try to know in this session when we have one expert from Spain and these amazing school leaders from India. So thank you so much everyone for joining in. Before we start the session, just some ground rules. The Blub World Web Talks is a timed session. So once your speaking time is over, you might get muted. If you get muted, please don't get offended. It's just to keep the activity interesting and engaging for everyone else. Secondly, and most important, this is a bilingual platform. So you can use English or Hindi, any of these two languages. Please don't go into a third one. But if you wish, you can, but I won't get it. So try sticking to English and Hindi. Thank you so much once again, everyone, for joining in. This is the 195th episode. So let's start talking about India-Spain student exchange. What are the different aspects of it? What do the school leaders think in India? What do people within the industry think in Spain? That is there actually a need for this kind of an exchange? And how does it really help a teenager or a student in his life? And how does it impact their careers? For a simple reason behind it, we are right now moving into a world which will have multicultural teams. We will always have to work with people who come from different ethnicities, different countries, different geographies. Now, how does exchange become critical in that? So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Let me invite the first speaker for today to initiate this session, Mr. Kaisar Dopaishi, the head of school for Podar ORT International School from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Kaisar, sir, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Daksh. It's always a pleasure to interact. Quite obviously, I think one of the first things which strikes us is that this intercultural awareness and understanding which this brings in. From our perspective, it's not just the language which we are talking about, but the idea of developing international mindedness. I think intercultural understanding and appreciation is so much a part of that. My experience with Spain has started with football. So, we have sent our kids to football for so often over there. And it's been such a wonderful experience just dealing with that one little sport and dealing with the concept of environment, how environment impacts sports. When I say environment, it's just not the cultural, the physical, the kind of place you have. Say we went in the month of May and you couldn't get the sun down till 1 o'clock in the morning. So the sun was nice and bright till 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. in the month of May. So it was interesting for the kids to even get that, that entire experience, whether it's university, which we went taking our kids for the International Student Conference of IB in one of the universities. So there, of course, there is a lot of gain from it.
Thank you so much, Kaisar, sir. And I think it's really essential to understand that when we talk of exchanges, when we talk of global citizenship, when we talk of intercultural teams, and most essentially being internationally relevant, because the biggest challenge that most of the people face in the workspace right now is that whenever you interact with intercultural teams or people coming from different geographies, it's very difficult to get the connotation of what's being talked about, because the connotation of different words and different phrases in different languages is absolutely different, and that causes a lot of friction at a lot of times. So let's try to understand from more school leaders that what do they think would be critical in student exchange. I would like to now invite the next speaker for today, Dr. Neha Dewan, the principal of Dewan Global School from Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Neha, ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Very good evening, everyone. It is such an honor for me to speak here as a speaker for India and exchange student program for Spain. So I would like to introduce you as a mother whose daughter is already an European student, actually. And she's been studying in Europe for quite some time now. It's been 2 years. She visited Spain and I visited along with her around whole of Europe. In my opinion, Spain has always been very welcoming for students. And moreover, the experience was a lot of feminism, means being a female and, a mother of a daughter, there's always, things that you feel that my daughter, how will she feel? Will she be safe? The situation is welcoming or critical. So understanding the viewpoint of universities and the data, as per the data, there more female student exchange happening in Spain in past 5 years than males. So, and otherwise also it is very welcoming, the culture, and there's so much to learn about the heritage sites and the evolution that kind of the education system and universities, those have shown in past 10 years in Spain especially, is really overwhelming. I've studied a lot about it since I got to know about the topic as well, and understanding the whole history and procedure. It's been really wonderful to understand Spain as an educational ground, for Indian students especially. So yes, the one good factor is like the welcome is how they welcome the students. Secondly, it's very welcoming for female students, especially the safety, security, and cultural benefits all are in favor of students. So I was really motivated for my daughter. So understanding the whole program, it was wonderful. Thank you. I have not much to say. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Neha, ma'am. And I think you share quite a personalized experience. First, you talked about the kind of female safety that exists in Spain, because there's a lot of female student exchange that's already happening. A lot of students are studying there in Spanish universities. So thank you so much, ma'am. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Dr. Neeraj Awasthy, the principal from Modern School, Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Neeraj, over to you for the next 3 minutes on what do you think that does student exchange really matter? And when we talk of student exchange, should it only be a part of school life, or students should also take a gap year and try to explore countries and travel a lot? Over to you, sir.
So, good evening, everyone, the participants of India, and good afternoon to the participants of Spain. I don't have any direct connection with the Spain, but still I have done some kind of a secondary kind of a research. And what I have found that I am very much into a student exchange program, because every exchange with any country is going to give exposure to the students. But when I was studying about the Spain, then I found that the education system of Spain is parallel as we are having system in India. So public system is there, public-private is here, semi-private is here, and we are having very good university, which is the world-renowned University of Barcelona, University of Madrid, then Pompeo. So there are very good universities also. And the most interesting factor which I have observed, that the population of Spain is decreasing from last 5 to 10 years. And I think in the Spain, the major part is the manufacturing. So as for my understanding, there should be a very strong, we can make a very strong link between this factor, because when our students will go to the Spain, then definitely they can absorb their, not only for the exchange, but they can go for the employment also. Because India has a very good human capital in India. Our students are very good, they have a very intellect level, they have high class of the patients also, as compared to the other area of the world. So we have shown, the Indian sports have shown their worth over the world also, because we have good people, people in Canada who are doing a very good work over there, creating opportunity to the Canadian people also. So as from my understanding, this can be a win-win situation for both the Spain and India if the exchange will happen. Because from this point of view, Spain can find out or take some good intellectual capital from India and train them in their culture, and in future they can take them as an employee also.
Thank you so much, Neeraj, sir. And yes, I think you're very right when you say that there's a lot of human capital exchange that can happen between India and Spain. Spain's population is decreasing, India's is increasing. We have a lot of intellectual capital that could help Spain in the next steps, and Spain could typically, share their set of knowledge with Indians and, increase the skill set and take them through next level. So I think when you look at it from the perspective of global economy, it's also a very relevant suggestion. So thank you so much, sir. Let me invite the next speaker today, Mrs. Susan Philip, the headmistress for the Sri Venkateswara Vidhyalaya from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Susan ma'am, from you specifically, we would want to know, when you think of international exchanges, how do you think that impacts a student, the student's family, and the complete ecosystem around them?
Good evening to one and all present here. Many of them were sharing their personal experience for the exchange of students, but I don't have any experience, but still I could feel like how the students will be exposed out. So it is a program, first I would say that it increases the tolerance for the other cultures. And one of the biggest advantage for the child is this exchange program. It gives a world view for them. It helps them see things more objectively and become more tolerant towards the culture and their customs. And as a result, more and more people are nowadays coming up to an idea and sending their children abroad for an exchange program. And I would like to just give it in points to substantiate my stance, where I would like to say the first point is about students get global exposure. With the global exposure, your child learns ways of the world that opens up their mind and makes them capable of thinking out of box. Mingling with the people of different cultural communities gives them an international perspective that can add to their college applications if this has been implemented in school. It also helps them to communicate with people across cultures confidently. And the second point which I would like to stress is student can master the local language. The best way to master a language is to practice with the native speakers. He gets a chance for it. If you're planning to brush up your Spanish, then a cultural exchange program in Spanish speaking country will advance your skills significantly. Spanish is also one of the sort of other languages like French, German. So this gives an exposure for the students. They develop, the third point which I would like to say is they develop some self-confidence. Needless to say, when you live away from your home in another country, you soon build up your confidence and develop your cultural sensitivity. These are life skills that will help you to fit into the global work environment with ease and also make you feel confident when interacting with people from a different culture or country. While it may be daunting at first, it is only a matter of time. When you will be able to develop your self-confidence, automatically everything will fall into the line. This is why it is advised to learn in a new environment so that the student can develop these skills at a faster pace. And it is always good to move from the home, and because we are always in the comfort and when you are in home, when you move from there, we directly get into the confidence to live and learn about the place where we are in. And the fourth point, as you were saying, prepare students for the university. Of course, when a student exchange program takes place in a school, the child gets an idea how the university in that area is, the scholarships which are available. Of course, Spain provides a lot of free opportunities for the students, for scholarships to be provided from the university and other places also. So this exchange program, it gives them a life-changing experience. At the end of it, you will come out of feeling independent, confident, and capable of taking life's challenges. So as a teenager, when you go abroad to study, the child will automatically become more equipped to handle their university life and other future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan ma'am. Self-confidence, learning more languages, getting out of the comfort zone, and finally taking the challenges of life head on. This is something that would change in a student if they explore more things around them. A very important element in this complete discussion is that how do you actually think that every single student can afford to have an exchange? This is also an aspect which we'll be discussing when we go ahead, because affordability or economics of a student exchange is something that impacts the decision of a student exchange. So let's try to understand more on this from our other guest. Let me know the next speaker for today, Ms. Pooja Anjanikar, the principal of RKF-JNPT from Navi, Mumbai, Maharashtra. Pooja ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes and a very warm welcome.
Thanks for inviting me. this exchange program, which we have been talking, I was really excited to talk about it because history also tells that many people or our leaders, great leaders, have already gone out of India and studied and have their degrees and came back to India. So it's not like new to Indians. Every out of 10, like every 8 people will look forward to go to abroad. And nowadays, like it's crazy. In every family, you'll get 1 or 2 children going to abroad. But yeah, Spain was always like people didn't think about it because first is the language. People can easily here in India, like French is available. Some people go for German even, but Spanish is nowadays it is not coming up in the schools. Like few of schools they take up this because we don't get proper trainers or somebody who could just introduce the Spain language. So there is a somewhere a fear of mine that would I be able to understand what the teacher has been delivering there. Apart from that, the cross culture which is there, because Europe, Canada, Australia, England has been quite adaptable because we get maximum Indians there. But do Spanish have Indian culture? Do they have homely feeling? So this fear of mind is always there into the parents. Would my child be lost over there? So this it becomes a lesser choice to go to Spain at that point. Apart from that, when I was doing research about it, what is the Indian mentality about the cost was rightly said is that they would prefer going to it is just a mindset that my child should go and study abroad. But in that they will think that whether my child should go in a place where it is good for his future learning outcome, future for his career, because they will prefer going to a country which is like where the crowd is being moving or every third person is going and studying over there. But they will same way goes with New Zealand. People don't speak much about New Zealand, but there are like Singapore. People don't speak much about that. Doing medical in Singapore is more cheaper than doing in India, but they don't have that mindset because the crowd follows. They follow the crowd. So in India now the Spain culture is yet to come, and once that has been, it's like a hum Indian में बोलते हैं हवा आनी चाहिए that the Spain's that should come. So people should feel that okay, my child should also go and study in Spain. Then here in India they will start with the language, like how we prefer teaching French, giving them option as French. Same way Spanish will be started. Then they will also, the banks should also consider that the loan should be given to the Spanish countries even. Like even apart from that, the parents should also feel satisfied. Your major challenge is to parents to get satisfied because they don't get convinced. They feel like that what is the benefit for my child to go and study in Spain? Rather than I can send him to Australia because he can get the PR over there. He can stay there longer. So the Indian mentality think very economically over there. So this is what, whenever we are planning an exchange program, these things we consider into mind, and convincing parents become little bit difficult where they are not able to go think out of box somewhere. So that's from my side.
Thank you so much, Pooja ma'am. And yes, the Spanish air hasn't flown in India as of now. It needs to now be talked about more. And essentially, we also need to understand that Spanish is not at all, rather not a very popular language option in India. Even when it's the fourth most spoken language in the world, it needs to be taught a little more. We need to, talk it out a little more. So now we have an expert from Spain who actually is working in this field, has a solution for everyone who is not able to afford that kind of an exchange. She's working in a space that's trying to give every teenager, every student, anybody, anywhere, whether you're a professional, whether you're a student, whatever you're doing, if you need an opportunity to take a gap and then visit countries across the world, how can you do that economically? And the reason why we have got her on a platform like this is that schools across the world and essentially in India should start exploring these options. Now, how does it actually pan out? How does it actually work? Let's give a hearing to Mercedes Martínez, the founder of Do the Gap from Spain. Mercedes, over to you for the next 3 minutes and a very warm welcome.
Thank you. Hello. Buenas tardes desde España. Good evening to India. My name is Mercedes, and I agree with all of you that doing a cultural exchange is quite important. But for me, it's not only formal education, that is to go to study abroad, because this is something that is quite complex, because there must be an agreement between universities or between high schools, and then the cost is so high that it's not affordable for everybody. And an exchange is inside of what we call informal education, that is learning from experience to develop the skills that you have already said, to learn to live in a multicultural society, to be respectful, open-minded, tolerant, and to enjoy the difference, because sometimes we are not even able to enjoy the difference when this is so important for everybody. So what it is like, I thought that to live an exchange is so important that it's not only focused on students, it's not only focused on people who go to the university, it must to be an experience open to everybody. So what I did is to develop a website. This is a kind of community that the name, I will write it here in the comments so you can check it. The name is dothegap.com, that will allow everybody to connect with families worldwide to live an exchange. That is, that if I am someone from Spain who wants to go to India, I don't need anyone. I just need a contact in India. So I register in this website, upload my exchange proposal, and connect with the family, with the person that I would really like to enjoy this exchange. So I don't have to pay for that. You are invited and you invite. This is the best way to learn another culture, to live with a host family from there that does not have any interest on you, on the money. They just want to exchange culture. So this platform is for students, for families, and also for schools. I mean, you need to have a network of schools from different countries, not only for Spain. I'm talking about Spain because we launched it here, so we are promoted this platform strongly here, but this is a worldwide community, so everybody is welcome. So if you have interest in Canada or in Australia or in Singapore, you can connect with anyone, but you have to register in the platform for free, launch an exchange proposal for free, and then to be able to connect with the schools or the families you would like to do an exchange. So this is informal education. There is not a training behind, because you know that from 600,000 million of students of high school worldwide, only 1%, this is 6 million, enjoy a cultural exchange. That's why then we have problems to understand each other and to be respectful, because when we travel with our friends, we travel with our family, but we are not alone in the other culture. So we are not open to experience different emotions and sensations because you are not in your environment. That's why I decided to launch this community marketplace where everybody can meet, talk, and enjoy a cultural exchange without any kind of organization behind. Because what it is important here, and you already agree about that, is that you are going to develop your skills to live in a plural world, to practice another language, to make new friends, not only to study abroad. That is something different, and there are lots of programs and they are focused in students. But not everybody wants to go to the university. But maybe you have a small business and you need to talk to people from different countries. Or maybe you live in a building where there are people from different countries. So this is my proposal. I will write here my community, and I will also link here a video to show you how this works and how can families and your students connect with other students, not only Spain, with other students worldwide, to enjoy this kind of cross-cultural activities so important for our society.
Thank you so much, Mercedes. So let's now open the Pandora's box. It's an open floor now. So now this is a time when we want to understand from school leaders that when you look at a platform of this sort, where you can build inter-school, inter-family relationships, do you think that this would be a proposition that could be utilized, or this is a proposition that typically looks quite vague and does not, ring the right bell when we talk of student exchanges? Any second thoughts? I think we will again go back to Kaisar sir for second thoughts, and then we'll move again ahead.
I think it's a very good proposal. I come from the IB world, so we look at this with very much fondness, if we may say so. And so it's not as Mercedes just put out. It's getting the intercultural environment. Of course, it's a wonderful opportunity to connect firstly online and get to understand what your needs are, and then perhaps take it forward. I think that's a beautiful thing. And a lot of us also weigh upon CI, which is cultural intelligence, right? So to develop the CI quotient, not just the IQ or now we have EQ, you also have CQ or C, right? Which is the cultural quotient. There's a lot of good studies done in the world on CQ and how CQ is important when it comes to business, when it comes to knowing people. So yes, and secondly, just want to comment. Yes, while perhaps in the national curriculum you don't have much representation of Spanish, that's not so with the IB world. We are about 150 schools, or rather not 150, 200 odd now, and a lot of demand for Spanish is there. So we've had Spanish exchange. We have dealt with, I personally have dealt with the IE University at Segovia. I went and visited that school, college, university, which interestingly had the IB student conference there. So yes, seeing all that part, I think it's interesting, and not just, as I said, studying. So this definitely opens up a good opportunity, and I would definitely encourage that. And perhaps Mercedes, this is something I'm also the president of the South Asian IB Schools Association. This is something I would, if you are okay with it, then I would rather share it with the community over there, and I'm sure they will appreciate it. And we are going to have a leadership conference anyway coming up, which I'm organizing it and with the teachers, and definitely put this proposal through, especially the Spanish teachers, which is a huge community. In WhatsApp, I have a huge community. So yes, so India is just huge in numbers, but when you see proportion wise with the different languages, it is a pluralistic society anyway, right? And we are not like bilingual, we are trilingual here. So, using language as a platform for developing intercultural understanding is what the IB philosophically believes. It's not learning a language per se, it's learning about people and connecting with people, and the skills which you learn are transferable, you see. So I think that's this opens a wonderful opportunity. I'll really like to look into this website and go forward. Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kaisar. And I think the reason why we try to bring together IB, CBSE, all boards and all sorts of schools from all strata is just this. There's a lot of learning that has to start exchanging. We have to exchange ideas, we have to exchange our experiences, because essentially you cannot always rely on a board to do something for you. A change in education happens very slowly, whatever you do, wherever you go. So it has to start percolating or rising up. Normally change happens, it trickles down from top to bottom. It has to also rise up.
That's just 10 seconds, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
There are also the Institute of Spanish over here in Bombay and other places, which teach teachers, do courses of teaching Spanish. So actually the teacher numbers have also grown wide. So thank you very much. Yeah. I mean, that's the one of the widely spoken languages. And it's not just about the language. A lot of them are venturing to go to North America. So quite obviously, it plays a role in especially US. That aside, this is a good measure, which will help them to even go to their North America and help them there.
Absolutely. So even at the World Teen Parliament, while we are interacting with so many teenagers since last 1 year, some of them are even from Spain, from India, they're from everywhere, from South Asia, they're already there. So we are also thinking that let's give schools an opportunity to host a gap year exchange. That if a school really wants that, okay, I'm ready to welcome these many teenagers from any place in the world. So do the gap, and World Teen Parliament will come together, bring those students to your place and take your students to that place. And essentially, this all has to be done at a no profit, no loss mode. That's why World Teen Parliament is a not-for-profit initiative or a give-back initiative of the Blub World Foundation. Because opportunities in education should free flow. And once they are capitalizable, they must be capitalized, but not in the beginning. There should always be a lot of space so that people can explore, experiment. So if anyone has any thoughts that they want to put forth, please, it's an open floor. You can do it. The reason I wanted to, hear it from Kaisar, he was very specific. He's somebody who has seen both the worlds, is working in both the worlds, and has a very deep understanding of it. So over to all the other school leaders. If you want to share anything, please unmute yourself.
Sir, I was just thinking, after listening the proposal from this Mercedes, I think the proposal is very good because it is going to give us one point, that it's very economical. Only it involves on the cost of traveling, not the cost of boarding and lodging. Number one. Number two benefit is that the student can find out, the person can find out the similar kind of interest with the person. So they can first interact with each other. If they are having the common interest, if they understand each other proposal, then only they will go and there is exchange here. So there is a high chance that the exchange will have a more outcome. The outcome will be, you can say it will be a positive outcome, because we know that what kind of the interest we are having. This is the second point. And number three, this exchange is not only restricted to the students, but it is a family exchange also. So even a student can plan exchange for their parents also. Parents can plan exchange for their kids also. So whole family can also go together. So this is also a good feature. If school is not getting a numbers, like minimum 20 or 40 people are required for exchange, in that case also, if only 4 to 5 or 8 people they want to go for exchange, they can take this route, and at least a minimum exchange can be happened. So at my understanding, this is a very good thing, and the community is good, and the students can take benefit out of it.
Thank you so much, Neeraj sir. I think Neha ma'am wanted to speak something. Ma'am, over to you.
Whatever I was thinking of speaking, Kaisar sir actually stated everything very precisely and very well. So I totally agree with sir that yes, the learning about language is not just about language. It is more about culture. It is more about, becoming more skillful and developing so many other skills that we can learn from each other.
Thank you so much, Neha ma'am. And does anyone want to, contribute any second thoughts? It's an open floor right now for the next 1 or 2 minutes, or we are nearly at the conclusion of the session. So I think most of us have already spoken. So before this call actually comes to an end, through the World Teen Parliament, through Blub, what we are trying to do is we are trying to exchange opportunities with people as seamlessly as possible, in whichever way it can actually percolate. So at this point as well, I would request all the school leaders who are here, and even Mercedes, whatever you think could contribute to a teenager's well-being, keep sharing those opportunities with the complete network. If you're doing something that you think more teenagers could be empowered with this, we'll take it to many more teens. You'll be very happy to know that at the World Teen Parliament, these 100 teenagers who came in last year on 22nd of January 2022, since then they've been working a lot, talking to a lot of global leaders, creating a lot of change. And essentially, just this month, one of the teams at the World Teen Parliament that had been doing very good work got its first seed investment from the World Teen Parliament. So they are working on scaling their solutions up. They are right now talking to a lot of teenagers on mental well-being. So whatever you're doing, I would suggest make your students see and explore the Teen Parliament, because the kind of opportunities that we are creating there would benefit them in many, many ways. And essentially, the complete activity of the Teen Parliament has absolutely no cost. It's all a give back initiative of the Blub World Foundation. So keep participating, keep exchanging, for a very simple reason. There should be a democracy of ideas, and ideas should not ever be anybody's property. Let them keep exchanging, keep talking about that. And thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of the Blub World Web Talks. This was the 195th episode. Let's keep talking about more things. Let's keep talking about empowerment. Let's keep talking about education. Thank you so much, everyone. Have an amazing evening again. Namaste.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.